Ladies, gentlemen, and young ladies, good evening, everyone. You are welcome to this news geopolitical conference dedicated to world news. In the headlines of international news, the President Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, after all the angry decisions that Donald Trump has had to take, including decisions which were taken from the Union side European, Vladimir Putin comes out of his silence. He comes out of his silence. He issues a very, very serious warning to NATO and to Washington. Vladimir Putin, in a firm tone, in a firm and calm tone, in a tone of statesman, spoke directly to Washington and NATO. He made a promise, and this time it doesn't look like any of these old promises, since this promise was accompanied by immediate orders. Ladies and gentlemen, as I have told you said earlier, the situation took another turn. Vladimir Putin finds himself in a situation where he should necessarily act, otherwise the world will continue to say and think that Putin just talks. He's a talkative who never puts on the action, but at the rate things are going himself, he understood that if he does not do no proof of someone who knows how to act, no, it would be over for the image of Russia. It would be over for him because the enemies are really determined. As part of this conference, Geopolitics dedicated to current events global, it is from this news that we're going to talk. Before we continue, I ask you to share the conference at most. It must be shared in all groups as long as you can. Put many likes, enough likes, and always remember to leave your different opinions in the comments. And if you are new here, click on the subscribe button, subscribe. This allows you to never miss the news again global. Let's go deep, let's go. So this is a statement without ambiguity. It's an announcement firm, a holy promise, a promise honest, I was going to say. The Kremlin confirmed through the broadcasting of the video in which President Vladimir Putin speaks. Vladimir Putin affirmed, or at least he announced, that the Western world will receive a spectacular response. A spectacular response. We are in diplomacy and words count. Yesterday, he said, if ever America ordered delivery, Thomas Hall missile, America was going to receive an answer, a crushing response. Today, just after Donald Trump was really pissed off and Donald Trump got it challenged, Donald Trump ordered the delivery. So Donald Trump challenged him, and he ordered the delivery immediate. So he promised an answer spectacular that the whole world will talk about. And this spectacular response is conditioned to what? If Russia is hit, if these missiles hit Russian soil, the response will be spectacular. And you know about the case of Ukraine. Just yesterday, a journalist asked the question to Vladimir Putin. He told him, but why, if Russia is so much strong, why you didn't have to destroy Ukraine as quickly as possible in 1 week, weeks? Vladimir Putin was very clear. He said, that's not our goal. Otherwise, if we want 10 to 20 minutes is enough to raise all of Ukraine 10 to 20 minutes, since they have the necessary arsenal, they have nuclear power, they have everything they need necessary. You just have to press the buttons, and that's it. It's finished in 10 to 20 minutes. He says, but that is not the objective of Russia. Russia's goal, it's about fixing problems. That's why we're leaving slowly. We are leaving very slowly, which means with Ukraine, there is a level of response, but as soon as America enters the dance, NATO joins in the dance. The level changes. We go up to a level superior. This is what Vladimir's words mean, Putin mean. The level will be raised. From now on, a nuclear power comes into play. This means that Russia therefore reserves itself the right to use nuclear power. Well, we don't know this now. Spectacular response. It will be about Ukraine, or it will even aim for American soil, or else that will target American interests in the region. But the truth is, though, that Vladimir Putin, he always said, we are not going to let ourselves be carried away by those who want us to do something about Ukraine, and then tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, that we say, no, Russia did so. So Russia uses the means a little more proportional than that Ukraine has. But at the time when the Mentos of Ukraine gives Ukraine the means a little more nuclear, so we too raise the level. And so the answer will be spectacular. And so Putin clarified. He says the dramatic response does not only target deliveries of Thomas Hawk missile. No, it's not aimed only missile delivery Thomas Hawk. He says, but any strike foreigner on Russian territory. any foreign strike on the territory Russian and what he calls hitting foreign. It's going to be deep strikes led by Ukraine but supported by foreign forces. Because at the moment we are in talking, the coalition of volunteers are working relentlessly. This coalition of volunteers who are in an emergency meeting whose content we will discuss on time is preparing to move on to the phase very superior because they have activated conflict mode. Europe itself decided to go into conflict mode. They are in a meeting really urgently summoned to raise the level in order to be able to fight until the waters, Russian Federation. And so here is the statement made by Putin, the tone of the message. Putin wanted to send a direct signal to Washington and NATO in this context of great extreme tension after the American decision to deliver the weapons long range in Kiev. And so, ladies and gentlemen, here is to the moment what we can remember. I'll come back to you later with some news. It was the voice of your humble servant, the Samouraï.